Okay, Alex, how you doing? So I've got your work up in the frame, and I've got it kind of configured so that we can see all four pieces at the same time. So you know what you're doing in terms of separating information and presenting information in groups, and I think you have an understanding of how alignment and proximity work. We're seeing good alignment here. We're seeing proximity here. What you're telling the viewer here is that this is separate from this, and somehow, and it is. This is what the title, what the subject is, and these are informational pieces about the actual subject. So that the information doesn't matter what the text is. We know that from looking at this, that this is separate from this. The second, we know that this is more important, not only separate, but more important. So this further illustrates that this is the topic, and these are the variables according to that topic. The difference between 1 and 2 is this. In number 1, you were required to make any contrasts, any hierarchy established accomplished by grouping information and changes in space. And you've done it. You've grouped information and you've changed the space. Great job. Also, one of the requirements of the assignment is to follow the same grid for each one of these compositions. I can tell you haven't. There's a couple of things giving it away. Number one, this type here doesn't start the same spot in the composition as this type here. And of course, the headline is located differently as well. In a grid, you would have, everything would be located within one of the intersections in the grid. If you haven't taken a look at that video I left in the announcements area called How to Design Using a Grid, please take a look at it. It's pretty important. It really explains this into minute detail. So, and if you're familiar with grids, it might be a good review for you. But at any rate, so we're seeing different grid usage in all four compositions. So the second composition is saying you must introduce a contrast of weight and scale. Okay, what you've done is you've introduced, this is a new weight, and you've introduced scale as well. So that's good. You can combine weight and scale. Is in number 3, you must introduce multiple contrasts of weight and scale by maybe doing something like this. I see what you've done here, but even in the headline alone, you could use a less bold typeface, or a variation of the typeface. Part of this type family would be an ultra light, if there is, or a light. And you could present the 1970 and the Z28 in ultra light or light, and contrast that with a semi-bold for Camaro, or the other way around. So that would be a way to introduce multiple contrasts of weight and scale. And you used a couple of different sizes. Now again, there's no grid here. There's no adherence to grid because there are no margins here. I mean, you are right up to the edge of that document. So that's something that you definitely want to think about. I think your margins are uneven on all 4 pieces. So again, just really want you to pay attention to that grid going into the final. Now the fourth iteration is to incorporate a crop portion in the muscle car along with any number of variations of size, weight, text. Violate the grid in some way, which you've done, but you did that here and here as well, though. So, do you see what I'm saying? I think this is good. I think it's good to show that this is the main part. It's the car and the headline. The headline's going to grab the attention. It's going to do so visually simply because of the scale. The scale is such that it just grabs the attention. So the headline will work across a room. I think you're bleeding the sea too much. I really do. I think it's almost becoming a little unrecognizable as a letter form. I would reduce that. Also, I'm noticing over here your kerning is really super wide on your 1970, really wide. Specifically right here as well. But I mean, it's very noticeable. So check that. Here as well, watch your kerning. Camaro needs to be kerned. So keep an eye on that. Okay, and then let me see, Z28. So this is a good piece here. This is a good piece. Yeah, you've got pretty good alignment. You got some nice alignment going right through that image too. So that's a good layout. Okay, that's what I have. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I'll be sure to clarify. But other than that, try to keep those comments in mind for your final iteration, and please feel free to view as many other student videos as you can. I'm sure that you'll find tips and little things that are pertinent to your layouts as well. About that, man. He hates that squirrel. All right. Anyway, so as I was saying, if I need to clarify, please let me know. I'll be more than glad to. All right. Good job. Thank you very much.